We attempted to survive 200 days on one block in hardcore Minecraft. This isn't a normal 200 days one block video. This is duo one block, which means if either one of us dies, it's all over. Will we both be able to survive? Keep watching to find out. By the way, if you haven't seen the first 100 days, go check it out in the top corner right now. But anyways, let's get straight into day 101. I loaded in on day 101 and it was great to be back in this world again. However, this time, there was one thing different. Gamers was busy being a glow squid for 100 days, so I'll be playing with my good friend Guilf instead. But don't worry, he could never replace Gamers. So on day 1, I gave him a tour of our beautiful world and let him borrow some of Gamer's stuff. Then of course it was time to say hello to some familiar faces. But for some reason, Mark didn't seem to like Guilf. However, we moved on and said hello to Boatcat, and afterwards, Guilf accidentally freed one of our villagers. And you know we couldn't just have a random villager wandering around our island, so of course, I took care of him, and sent a message to all the other villagers who were hoping to escape. Anyways, next it was time to say hi to the animals, and visit the iron golem on his little iron island. And that was the first day done. On day 102, it felt a bit strange sleeping in this house with Gil. And not gonna lie, I was missing Gamers a little bit. But I'd have to worry about that later, because now it was time to break the block. And quickly, an annoying white fox tried to kill our animals. But this time, I was ready. Then a monster party happened. And this monster party was sponsored by Monster Legends. Hey Guilf, did you know Monster Legends is free to play and it's available on both Android and iOS?
Wow, that's so cool. But wait a second, what is Monster Legends?
I'm glad you asked. Monster Legends is this awesome mobile game where you collect monsters, choose different sets of skills, and boost your strategy in action-packed battles. You start by building a world for your monsters to live in, fill it with habitats, and breed monsters of different elements and rarities to create cool new species.
Can we play it together though?
Yeah, for sure. There are different PvP modes, like the adventure map, where you can fight in real time against your friends.
Now that is epic. I want to beat you. So how do I get the best monsters?
I don't think you'll be able to beat me. But you can level up your monsters for the battles ahead and rank them up in the monster lab. There are also hundreds of different monsters to collect, including the very special Dream, Sapnap, and George Not Found monsters, which you can now get in the game.
Ooh, I can't wait to get the Dream monster. What's your favorite part of the game, Lockdown?
I love how there is new events every week, so there is always something new and exciting to do.
Oh my god, that is so awesome. Where can I download it?
Well, funny you should ask that, because if you use the link in the description before August the 25th, you'll not only be able to download the game, you'll also get this very special reward. It's worth $30 and you'll get it for free. It includes loads of food, gold, and gems, as well as the epic monster Cowrie. Anyways, in the monster party, we had to defeat an army of little purple bugs, as well as a flying enderman. Let me know which one you would rather fight in the comments down below. But anyways, the next day was a pretty relaxing day. We spent a lot of the day sorting items into the storage system, and I took Boatcat for a ride. And then the rest of the day was spent planning where to expand the island. Also, whilst we were doing this, we decided on our 3 goals for these 100 days. Our first goal was to construct a villager trading hall, so that we could get lots of juicy emeralds. The next goal was to kill the Wither. And the final goal was to create a beacon in the center of our island for the awesome potion effects. The next 3 days were spent collecting some wood, spotting some bees that were just chilling in the void. Oh look, some void bees. And gathering as much stone as we could. And on day 107, it was time to start expanding the island. So we used our newfound resources to bridge off by the Nether portal and build this lovely little platform. But we made one fatal error and forgot to light it up. So we were left with an army of mobs to clean up. And then on day 108, we began construction on this building. We had no idea what we were going to use it for, but it would be great to have some more space on the island. Also, it rained like all day, so I was not a happy lockdown life. By the end of day 109, the project was pretty much finished. It came out looking kinda weird, but sadly we're not pro builders like Gamers, so we just accepted it, and so I burnt Guilf with a fiery stick before going to bed. Day 110 was spent breaking the block some more and reading some of your comments. And I think this one was one of my favorites. Then the attack of the pigs happened, and I murdered some cats. And later on, a monster party happened, and some of the monsters tried to escape by going into the end. So I chased them, but it turned out to be a trap, and all these little purple bugs were trying to hit me off the edge. But luckily, I managed to get to safety, and Guilf came to help me take them out. Oh, and the next day, I accidentally fell into the end. Oops. Oh, and we also got this new villager named Heidi. So after destroying a couple of 100 blocks, we decided it would be fun to trample our villagers while they were sleeping. Also, we saw this zombie just chilling on our new building, so we tried to get it to pick stuff up, but it was being very annoying and wouldn't pick a single thing up. So just before going to bed, I 360'd him. In 100 days, I asked you to give me a name for the polar bear. But what I didn't know was the polar bear would go on to die in the 100 days. So rest in peace to the polar bear that never got a name. However, in his honor, I decided to name this panda Polar Bear, so that we'd always remember. And the rest of the day was pretty much spent sorting items into our storage system. This was getting very annoying. Oh yeah, and Guilf fell asleep holding 2 burning sticks, which I thought was kind of weird. The next day I woke up and saw Guilf being weird, so I decided to join him. Then I showed Shelfcat my new trident, and they thought it was pretty pog. Afterwards, I gave the polar bear a ball of clay just like old times, and then we evicted the iron golem from the island. Let the iron production begin. We would need it because we were about to build a super storage system, so that we would never have to sort out items into chests ever again, as it was literally driving us crazy. Oh, hello there. Anyways, at the end of day 13, we were crafting up all the hoppers and chests we would need. And the construction of the automatic storage system started on day 114. This was going to take a long time, but it would definitely be worth it in the end. We were going to have water flowing from the block, and this would transport all the items into a storage system underneath the island. Meaning if we wanted to get one particular block, all we'd have to do is go to that chest and take the items out. And we wouldn't be stuck with inventories full of useless blocks. And by day 121, most of the construction was finished. All I needed to do now was put the blocks in that I wanted to sort, so the storage system would know where to place all the blocks. And then on day 122, it was time to test it. We couldn't believe it. It worked better than ever expected. About 2 seconds after the block was mined, it was already sorted into one of the chests. And the chests were very organized, so we always knew where every block was. This dolphin was so excited about our new storage system that he jumped straight into our carrot farm. And here on, he was known as the carrot dolphin. Oh, and this creeper was very jealous about our new storage system, so he tried to blow it up. But don't worry, I fed him some arrows, and he changed his mind. And on day 123, I tried to put a lead on Tony the Turtle, but he wouldn't let me. So I may have pushed him into the void. Then we violently murdered a horse. And to finish off the day, I accidentally threw my trident into the void whilst trying to kill an angry bee. Oh, by the way, I also have this footage of Guilf hunting down a rabbit and killing it. He's definitely learning the lockdown life way. On day 124, I woke up and checked out my gorgeous sea pickles. I'd missed them a lot. Then I got another dog, and guess what? His name was Mark. But sadly, this Mark didn't have a very long lifespan, because during an intense monster party, Mark jumped straight into the void. I don't think this Mark was very intelligent, but he was still a good boy. Guilf then got a dog called Bob, and afterwards this creeper scared me a little bit. Afterwards, I got Mark version 4.0 in this world, and sat in with my other Mark. Then we saved Ian from getting sorted, and let him wander around the island. And finally, after a long day of sniping little purple bugs, these Endermen told you guys to subscribe if you're enjoying the video so far. And trust me, there's still a lot of epic stuff to go. The next morning, we were looking for Ian, and we couldn't find him anywhere. So we decided to check in the Nether, and sure enough, there he was. He didn't look fazed at all by being in literal hell, and it looked like he was on a mission. So we decided to leave him to it. And a little while later, we spotted him just chilling on this one block ledge. So we left him there to think about his mistakes. And whilst collecting some wheat, I discovered the mystical fence cat. Just before going to bed, I got comboed by the Technoblade of Endermites. On day 126, we wanted some excitement. And what's more exciting than raiding a dark castle full of deadly pigs and epic loot? Yeah, that's right, we were gonna go explore some bastions. And on our way, I freed Ian. We got to the first bastion and realized the piglins were very stupid. And we managed to get ourselves some easy loot. But later on in that bastion and in other bastions, we found out why they were called piglin brutes. Yeah, we definitely had some close calls. And we didn't want to stay in this place any longer. And on day 129, we were thankful to head home. We even asked Ian if he wanted to come back with us, but he didn't. The next day, we were feeling a bit more relaxed. And we managed to unload our items, and then I gave some carrots to my marks. Then it was time to work on one of our goals and build the villager trading hall. We decided to do this behind the existing villager hut, so the villagers could sleep in the hut and then go to work in the trading hall. And by day 31, all the walls were complete, and there was just the roof and windows left to do. So I sent Guilf on a mission to murder the block to get some sand for windows. Meanwhile, I began work on the roof. Also, a monster party happened, and this iron golem saved me. It must have thought I was one of the villagers. The next day, I finished the roof and made Shelf Cat invincible. The next day, we installed the windows in the villager trading hall. Oh, and I was also ambushed by 3 skeletons. We then installed the villagers' workstations. And before bed, I beat a chicken to death with a spider's eye. But of course, if you followed me on Twitter, you'd already know that. So be sure to follow me with the link in the description if you want teasers to the next 100 days video. Oh, and I also post stupid things as well. On day 134, the villager trading hall was complete with trading villagers. They love their new prison. Home. And the villager training hall looked so much better with the villagers inside of it. So that means we can tick one of the goals off our list. Plus at night, I was too lazy to walk back to the house, so I just stole one of the villagers' beds. The next day, I took my horse on a ride, and then we proceeded to annihilate the block. Whilst mining, another polar bear spawned, and we noticed this iron golem really liked to fly. Then when the iron golem had finished flying, we went back to mining and realized a sheep was in our storage system and it looked like he was eating all of our blocks. He must have been really hungry. Then later on, our friend the flying iron golem helped us kill this elder guardian. So we said thank you. And on day 136, we decided to make a little thing to honor gamers. What do you guys think? Does it look like gamers? Let me know in the comments down below. Then we decided it was time to have some fun. So we spent day 137 constructing ourselves a nice little parkour course. And the next day, it was finished. So it was time to do some parkour. And we made some of it actually quite hard. For example, neither of us could do this ladder jump for a while. But eventually, we managed to do it. And we were having a lot of fun. Day 139 was spent getting rich, trading carrots for emeralds. After that, I watched Guilf take Boatcat for a ride. And then I made some sheep naked. This wool was then used to make beds for the villagers. And just before bed, I gave the villagers some food. And when I woke up on day 140, it looked like the villagers had been very busy. because a couple of baby villagers had appeared. Also, sadly, on this day, the sorting sheep was murdered. So I placed this sign in his memory. Then later on, Guilf hurt these stupid little white foxes. But as the sun went down, something terrible happened. A monster party had caused a massive fire to burn down all of our trees. So we had to spend all night cleaning it up and stopping the fire from spreading, as it could burn down our entire island. We continued cleaning up on day 41 until the trees were back and healthy again. Then we started preparing to go to the end. I know what you might be thinking.
But Lockdown, why would you want to go to the end? You've already killed the Ender Dragon.
And the answer to your question is in 2 words. End cities. Then the next day, we set off in search of elytras into the cold, dark end. We built up to the portal and then teleported through it. We spawned on the edge of a small end island and began bridging to the mainland. This was the start of our search, and little did we know it would go on for thousands of blocks. All the days seemed to blend together and everything looked the same. Until eventually we finally came up against our first end city. We couldn't believe our eyes and we were so eager to explore it. So the first thing I did was teleport onto the end ship and get myself some nice loot as well as that juicy elytra. Then of course we explored the rest of the end city, killing shulkers along the way. After completely exploring the end city, it was on to the next one. So a few more days of tireless searching went by until we came across another end city. This ship was a bit higher up, but with some clever ender pearls, it wasn't a problem. And we had gotten Guilf some wings too. And on what we thought was our way home, we came across another end city. So, of course, we looted it. And we now had a lot more decent gear, as well as this awesome god sword. So by the end of day 49, we managed to return home. So on day 150, we were back and we could fly. We celebrated making it to 150 days by flying around, and you should celebrate it by liking the video. Because if this video gets 100,000 likes, I'll do 300 days. The next day, a pufferfish attacked Guilf, and then some fat hogs attacked as well. Oh, and then 2 foxes spawned. One of them picked up a piece of endstone and then jumped into our pen, so we decided to leave him. But the other one tried to escape into the Nether. It was really fast and it was quite funny. But eventually we managed to trap it in the wall. And of course we put some signs up. And then for some reason, Guilf murdered Ian. I don't know what got into him. Although it wasn't all bad because I got this sick kill on a ghast. On day 152, we decided to dedicate a chunk of days to a map project. It took a good few days to get everything right, but in the end, we think it worked out perfectly. We spent nearly 2 hours on this, so please remember to like the video if you haven't already. On day 157, Guilf wore some dragon heads as gloves. And Shelf Cat got a friend. It was just a stray cat that we trapped in our house. Oh yeah, and we spent the day constructing our room of achievements. We spent the next 2 days trying to get the villagers to breed, but for some reason, they just weren't in the mood. In addition to that, we also got these stupid parrots. On day 160, a monster party happened. I accidentally killed my parrot, and some fat hogs ate my shorts. This wolf also had an intense battle with some llamas. And a massive fire happened again, so we spent all night fixing the damage. The next day, a monster party happened whilst I was on the phone to my dad, so Guilf covered for me. Oh, and afterwards, we decided to expand the farm. In the morning, the farm was fully expanded, and Fence Cat had returned. And later on, after planting the new crops, we realized why we never expanded the farm before. Yeah, the sub sign was completely ruined. And the morning of the next day, I forgot to press record. But I did manage to enchant myself a nice pair of diamond leggings and diamond boots. So I showed off my new armor to the Sea Pickles, and they loved it. And the rest of the day was spent being incredibly rich. Day 100 and Minecraft number was here, and I started it by feeding Shelf Cat. Then I yeeted some turtles, and got some diamonds. As well as that, we got a second endstone fox, and I sniped a void bee. Then finally, to finish off the day, I put a skeleton head in the trophy room. Oh yeah, and one more thing, a creeper blew up all our chests. So we spent the next day and a half fixing the mess. And afterwards, we sent a wandering trader to wander in the Nether and got to witness the adventure of the 3 Nether cats. The next day, we were casually watching the villagers breed and an iron golem wanted to get involved. Then later on, we got to see a Pogger's baby villager and Guilf was very excited. On day 168, we spent the day torturing the Nether fox. He was definitely not having a good time, but that serves him right for trying to escape. On day 100 and funny number, I made some more beds for the villagers and killed the boat llama. And on day 170, Chest Cat was being greedy and took 2 fish and still didn't get tamed. Then after breaking the block for a while, we got a breakdancing white fox. And then to finish off the day, I watched an iron golem burn to death. Days 171 to 174 were the days of villager production. All we did was farm for carrots and bread and feed them to the villagers so that they would make smaller villages. Also during this time, Guilf finally managed to tame the chest cat. The next 7 days were the hardest days of these 100 days. They were so painful, but it was necessary to complete our goals. We were repeating the task of placing down lecterns and trying to get different book trades from villagers. And for some reason, it proved nearly impossible to get an Unbreaking 3 or a Looting 3 book. Every single trade they would offer us would be for some useless enchantment like channeling. And it was driving us to insanity. But then finally, Guilf managed to get a Looting 3 trade from a villager, and we were so happy that we named it Tom. This Looting 3 trade would make getting Witherheads a whole lot easier. And about a day later, we had an Unbreaking 3 trade as well. We were so relieved this was over. Also, I'll just tell you a few things that happened that were interesting. Guilf fattened up a cow by feeding it over 100 wheat. There was a lot of suicidal baby villagers, and a lot of baby villagers sleeping. I spent most of day 182 getting geared up. I had loads of levels from killing the Ender Dragon, which meant I could apply loads of high-level enchanted books to my armor. Meanwhile, Guilf was mining the block for diamonds. The next few days was more of the same, and by the end of it, both of us had a very good set of armor and tools. These were going to be very important against the Wither. The next day, we were ready to fight the Wither skeletons. So we set off towards the Nether fortress. We were very confident that we'd be able to get 3 heads because we already had one at home and we both had Looting 3 on our swords. So when we finally got to the Nether fortress on day 188, we began slaughtering Wither skeletons. And of course, making sure to deliver the fatal blow with our swords. Guilf managed to get one pretty quickly, and only about 1 minute later, I had a Wither head of my own. Then it was time to head back to base after some of the easiest Wither head collecting I've ever done. Day 190 was a relaxing day. I woke up and stabbed an iron golem. Then I gave his remains to Boat Cat whilst I practiced some parkour. Afterwards, I chilled out whilst chopping the block for a bit, and I ate some of Guilf's prestigious first cake. Day 191 was spent fixing the mess that was our subscribe sign. Oh yeah, and I was messing around with a boat, and this happened. That was pretty close. Anyways, afterwards, the map looked a lot cleaner. But don't worry, I know what you're thinking.
Lockdown, what on the map is gonna get me to subscribe now? I mean, with the subscribe sign gone and all.
Well, that's where this section of days comes in. We began work on the biggest project of this world so far. It required lots of cobblestone, which we had plenty of, an incredible amount of lava, of which we had unlimited, and a whole lot of planning, which we got straight into. We even dyed our shulker boxes orange so that we'd know they were lava shulker boxes. And on day 197, this beast of a project was ready. This took so long, so please make sure you subscribe if you made it to this point in the video. It would mean a lot to me. But anyways, let's finish these 100 days. On day 198, we made sure we had everything we needed to face the three-headed beast. And so on day 199, we woke up ready and began saying goodbye to our friends, as we weren't sure if we were coming back or not. I also gave Shelf Cat one of my golden carrots just in case he went hungry. Boat Cat wished us luck, and I eventually decided to free the Nether Fox. Then we said goodbye to the villagers, and the polar bear wouldn't even look at me. He was so upset we were going. But it had to be done, so we entered the end dimension. Guilf placed the two side heads, and I placed the middle one, and the wither began to spawn in. Oh, by the way, guys, don't forget to click the link in the description down below to download Monster Legends and get your free rewards worth up to $30. It was at this point when I thought back to the very first block and how it all started. But this was no time for nostalgia. We had a wither to kill. First, we began sniping it with our bows, but it was moving very erratically, and we were struggling to hit it. But as the time went on, we managed to get some damage done. However, the wither was taking its toll on our health too, and we were forced to resort to our golden apples. The wither's explosive heads along with the wither effect were a deadly combination, but we managed to fight on. And eventually, after struggling to land the final hit, we had defeated the wither. And on day 200, we crafted ourselves a beacon, and we had completed all 3 goals. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.